Right, welcome back everyone, and today we are here at Swansea Museum and we're here looking around all the different artifacts and stuff that are here, and you won't believe it, the vintage stuff that is in this building everyone is unbelievable. So make sure you stick around with us and have a look around and see what is going on, because there's so much going on here everyone. So to start with, let's have a look around. And we'll start with there's some big engineering stuff here. I mean, I don't know what this does or what it is. We've got all sorts of stuff here. It's unbelievable. There's some coins here everyone. Check these out. And these like 1 penny it says there. There's no right, oh there is a right up to them. These are like Bristol copper coins or something like that, and they've got a Bristol plate and cigarette ashtray and something there like that, and some copper. I remember on the old video we did up at the harbour in Buryport, the old copper quarry, well that's one of the copper nuggets that quarry would have produced. And we keep going round. As we keep going round, there's more stuff showing. Got more stuff here, Abervale works and stuff. There's like an old shoe, look at that shoe there everyone, that's crazy. Loads of different artifacts and stuff. So come over to this side. There's like the old quarry tools. You won't sort of see this stuff anymore. Look at the size of that nail everyone, it's huge. And there's some dynamite there as well. Yeah, and an old shovel. The old shovel. A picture of a miner there working. And there's more. Another shovel there. It's massive. Size of the shovel and the pins. Look at these pins, everyone. They're huge. So there's more stuff in there. Like a plate. Some iron rods there. And other bits. And this is taken from Abervale Works, so whatever place that is or what that's from. And look at this everyone. Look at this old vintage car. It looks like maybe it could have been like a Model T Ford or something like that. You just don't see these things too much anymore. This is awesome. Look at this everyone. The proper vintage. Look at that, this inside there, got old coil packs and stuff. Look at the size of this chain, it's huge. And that's to power this big huge wheel as well. Massive. And as we come around, look at this, this is like an old bicycle type thing. You don't really see something like this. Is probably the first version of a bicycle, I'd say. Yeah, you just won't see anything like this so easy. As we go around, come around, look, there's an old steam train there. I don't know how it's on its side like that, but it is. Yeah, we'll come through. Don't know if you've ever seen these before, the old Sinclair electric bikes. These things were out in the 80s for electric purposes and whatnot. Oh, there we go. It's the front of this bicycle. It's cool as. We'll come round, and as we go around we'll keep looking at more stuff that they've got here everyone, because there's so much here. It's hard to make out what's going on. In here, everyone, look at this. It's an old steamship here. Look at that, everyone. That is beautiful. Look at that. I'll come round and I'll show that in depth. Look at that. I'll come in a bit closer. See the deck. It's like the Titanic, but it's not. It's probably one of these old steamships from back in the day. Yeah, other than that, I'll come around. So much other stuff. If you know any of these people are, then please let us know. And there's other old vintage things. If you remember this, I had one of these. It's on the channel somewhere, an old vintage iron that I have in my possession as well. And they've got one of these in the museum. And that looks like a weighing scales type of thing. Oh look, and there's some old soap there, everyone. So if you know what that was there. There's some old bits here. Some old trams and trains. Look at this. Some old badges. And look, some whistles. These are old whistles, like the old didgeridoos. People probably made themselves back in those days. More stuff there. Look at this old crane, everyone. This would be used, a smaller version of this. This is the smaller version, but this would have been used to lift up coal and stuff back then. And there we go. Not much else in this thing here to look at. So we'll keep moving around, everyone, and show you anything else that's going on. And there's a guy there with prosthetic legs. So yeah, there we go. We'll keep looking around and keep showing you what's going on. Right, there we go. We've got another little section here going on. We've got more model ships here. This one seems to be from Cardiff to London, St David's. I don't know what, it's like some sort of charter, like coach, stage coach sort of thing. And there's another model ship here. I know it's dark in there, everyone, so it's not quite the light we need. Yeah, some trains, some old model trains, Great Western there. Some old steam trains. This is an old steamship as well. Old Great Western train again from Paddington to Newport, Cardiff and Wells. Look at this. And this is probably an old steam engine, and I bet this works as a steam engine, but a really small version of it. And these as well, I bet they work too. Sorry about the light, everyone, it's not the best. More ships. Some old trains there. Right, we'll come around and keep going and see how much around. There's a version of some screen on the floor. I'm not sure what it's about, but talking about Wells there somewhere. Right, we'll keep looking around and show you what's going on then. Right, so here we've got an interesting one. We've got an old typewriter there. That looks as well like it's an old sort of typewriter. And another one here. An old Continental typewriter. And this is an old sewing machine. See that? This is how they used to sew clothes by hand. They turn that handle there, and that's how your sewing machine would work. It's an old Hoover there, and this is how they hoover up with these old Hoovers, and some other winding mechanisms and whatnot. That's there is an old wash scrubber. You wash your clothes with that. And the beater and stuff that would beat your carpets and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a definite bit of history there in this cabinet.
Still got my one.
There's something going on in here. Just like shows you how these were working. These are the women that were using them. So right, we'll keep looking and keep going and see what's going on.
Okay? You understand?
What did you say?
Do not walk off and leave us. You stay here. Will you listen?
Look at the size of this shovel, it's massive, look at that. Right, and these are like old doctor's tools and archaeology tools, I think, one of the two. And look at this, basket here is made out of pure metal. Imagine how heavy that is. Pure metal, even the wheels there are made out of metal. Pure metal, same as this box, it looks like it's made out of metal. All these little tools and stuff in it. So, yeah, worth holding on to these. And we have another room here that shows you what all this stuff was used for. Yeah, so we'll keep going, keep looking around, and here we have like an inside of an aeroplane cockpit, I can imagine this looks like. And then right there we have an old-fashioned aeroplane. I mean, look at that, everyone. That's probably one of the first aeroplanes that you'd ever see, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, this box here is the cockpit. What you see in here, this little thing here, this is the cockpit of that. If you look at it, it's pretty much the same. So I'll try and zoom in a bit if I can. This is pretty much the same as what that box is there, that cockpit. There we have it, that's that. So we keep looking around this museum and showing you what's going on. And yeah, happy days. It's another picture. On the floor we've got an out view look of the streets around here. Yeah, alright, we'll keep looking around and we'll keep showing you what's going on. There's some sort of beehive thing going on here. It's like a butterfly collection. Something here. There's some coins as well. Let's represent the bees and stuff, so that's pretty cool. A little beehive there. I don't know if that's real. Look at the size of that, it's huge. I don't know. And there's the front of that aeroplane, everyone. Let's say it's so old. This is like the Wright brothers type of thing. Yeah, so we'll keep going, we'll keep looking, and we'll keep going around seeing what's going on. Outside on the balcony of the museum, everyone, I thought I'd come and show you this. This is the marina. Look at this, everyone. Look at this, everyone. Look at this old ship down there. Look how old that is. Two of them. I think that one's a lighthouse ship if we look there. And this one's just some old-fashioned ship. We're looking at there. Right there, this is Swansea Marina, everyone. If you've not been there before, this is what it looks like. everyone parks their boats and everything, and probably go out fishing, and they come in from there, and then they park up at their pontoons wherever their space is. So yeah, there we have it. That's just out the back of the museum we are at the moment, which is where the marina is, right here. We'll still keep pushing through and seeing what else is in this museum. Stick with us, because we are only halfway through this museum tour. Right, there we go. We've got some pictures I thought I'd show. There's some paintings. Looks like these are paintings of the old days. This one's like a mining one. White Rock Copper Works, this one's called. Iron Works Interior Light, this one's called. And Welsh Family, this one's called. And this is a nice picture. This is Fablo. It's a very long, big picture. Can't argue with that. We're going to come round, look at the rest of this, what's going on in here, and keep this tour going, everyone. And there's some old vintage ships. Look at this. Look at the size of these model ships, everyone. They're huge. But that's not even the biggest one. We'll go around now and look at the biggest one there is. And look at this, guys. This thing is absolutely huge. Look at that. And this is M.A. James' ship, probably King James's ship. This was whatever it was used for, to carry cargo, I guess, and probably tea and coffee and all that sort of stuff. They would have used the ship like this to carry cargo and things like that. And as I say, this is a model ship. This thing's got to be 6 foot long. It's huge. So, you know, you don't see model ships like this too often anymore. If it comes to it, here's the write-up for it as well. The Sea Change. I think maybe that's what it might have been called. That was left there, and then we've got some other stuff here. Another little ship. Some steel toe cap shoes and a bowl. And we'll keep looking around and coming through. So much here to see. Another model ship there. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty dark. So many model ships here. It's crazy. And here I think we've got some statues of Napoleon. I mean, very well this could have been Napoleon's ship. Or Admiral Nelson, this would have been 1798, Admiral Nelson. So these were his ships. So if you know who Admiral Nelson was, and these are his ships. And here we have a nice picture, the Anne Thomas ship, if you know what that is. And we have some others just commemorating what other ships we have there. Yeah, here we go. Other stuff here to look at. And we'll keep pushing around and showing you what's going on. I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like a big giant rat though, if you ask me. More pictures, and I'll show you this ship, and then we'll go to the other part of the museum next. This is another ship. And this ship is from 1845 from Swansea, so some bits in here as well to go with it. So, alright, we'll keep looking around and see what's going on. Right, we're here, so we're looking at some pottery artwork here. Look at that, that's very old, everyone. Early 1800s, same as these. These ones are between 1814 and 1817, as it says there on the pictures. And these, look at these, everyone. These are seriously old. Proper old, everyone. That's a sextant, everyone. That's what they used to navigate the seas with through the stars. Look at them old binoculars as well. There's an old police baton there. Yeah, look at the old shovel. Look at the detail on the shovel there. You won't see a shovel like that anymore. These are like, I think they're like doctor's apparatus. If you look at that now, that's probably what they used to chop your legs off. That saw there. And all these types of instruments they would have used back then. By today's methods, these are crude. They wouldn't use these anymore now. It would be well out of date. And look at that, everyone. That's a camera. One of the first cameras ever made, this was. You stick your paper in there, slide it through, take your picture, slide it out, and then you pretty much got your photo. That I'm not really sure what that is or what you do with that, but if you know, let us know, because I've got no clue what that is. Looks like some homemade little box there from the early 1800s as well. So, and this camera took this picture of the moon back in the early 1839. This picture was taken with this camera. So that shows you how good this camera was back then for it to take a picture of the moon. Done very well. Look at it up there, everyone. That's like medicine sort of thing.
Including Elizabeth Dean herself, who was standing in for the usual
There we go. Alright.
In 1851,
carry on looking around.
Windsor and Newton produced prepared paints and brushes to save people the trouble and skill of making their own.
I don't see that too
Pocket-sized
often.
watercolour sets and sketch pads were also available and extremely popular, as painting was a much more common pastime than it is now. Until photography was in common use, painting and drawing would
Don't know if you can see this side too well. It's a bit dark over here. I'll still show it. But I don't know why the lights are off in here. It's so dark. There's an old chest there. Look at that. That's very old. That's from the early 1800s as well, that chest. You wouldn't believe it's over 150 years old. Some of these pottery things as well, they're all over 100 years old. Everything you see mostly is all vintage and old. And I imagine this sort of thing is your first sort of Pandora's sort of chain. It had a whistle there and other things on it that you'd use and use it as a chain or something. Some little kids' clothes there by the looks of it. So yeah, there's an old press there, you can see that, if you can see it. Alright. A lot of paperwork from Swansea, that there's from 1854. And this newspaper here is from 1801. Swansea, Friday, June the 25th, 1852. So that's old newspaper there from 1852. If you want me to come back and, you know, do these again properly and show it again properly, then please say, because I'll happily come back and show all this again. But there we go. It's an old little ship there, model ship. Yeah, we'll come back and show you. We'll keep going on and show some more stuff. Right then, everyone, this is an interesting bit. We've got some old, interesting stuff here, and then in the middle there, if you see that there, it's, I don't know if you can see it, it's a banknote. I don't know if you can see it, I'm so sorry. The lighting here is so terrible. I really don't think you can see this, everyone, so I'm not gonna put too much into filming this bit. This is like a 1950s corset. Look how skinny that is. It's terrible, like really skinny.
Have you seen it in the
This is like old flour, if you can see it.
metal?
I don't know what's going on there, but it's a grey paid or whatever it's meant to be. It's such a big box, it's huge. Oh yeah, look,
That's the
it's
one we've got.
exactly the same. Look, we got one of these, everyone, which is shown on the channel, an old Welsh Bible. And this, as far as I believe, is from the early 1800s maybe. So yeah, it shows you what we got. Some stuff is in the museum, that's how old it is. And some old shoes and stuff. And more old stuff. This looks like 40s, 50s stuff like Marilyn Monroe would have been wearing. It looks like this sort of vintage clothing. Look at that, an old Hoover again, and even there's an old hairdryer. You wouldn't see that so often. And some old pottery there. Oh, there we go. This Hoover is probably from the 1950s, it says that Hoover is, so it's how old that one is. There we go.
Remind me. You know, the old sunglasses from the 50s?
Yeah.
Got them.
Alright, so we've just
Remind me.
realised we've got some old glasses from the 50s. So
Sunglasses and probably old glasses as well.
okay. Yeah, well we'll take that out and we'll keep that.
Probably older than them.
Is it? Okay. Alright. And some jewellery there, everyone. We need to. Right then everyone, this is the last bits of it. So we've got here an old steam train. As you can see, it's an old, and this is the old thing. We'll come round here and have a look at this. Because this is very interesting what vehicles are like there. I don't know if you can see it because of the glass. Sorry everyone, but I know the glass is kind of reflecting it a bit. And this is showing the vehicles they had at the time. You can see that the dates and stuff and the vehicles. Another one here, some green glass there everyone. This is probably original how they made green glass. Look at this vase, that is very old. Very, very old. Maybe 1840s this is all from, so yeah, you won't see anything like this so easy. Yeah, that's just a bit of green glass there for you. And some pottery. Let's keep going. Come on, Ryan. Look at this old mask. I don't know what that's for. Smoke helmet. It's mad. An absolute crazy one that is. With some tools and stuff. And this is all a part of the miners' type of jobs that they were doing. Yeah, happy days. Yeah, we'll keep pushing through and seeing what else there is. Right then, we got an old vintage 1950s car there. Look at that. Probably had to crank start these things. Don't see these things so easy anymore. Look at that, it's beautiful. Look at that. And come round. These are the first original mopeds. Cycle and they have an engine. These are the first original types of mopeds. You just don't see these so easy anymore. These are original. You just don't see them like this anymore. We'll quickly scoot round here and show you what's going on. There's nothing much here, it's just some sort of pictures on the wall. Queen Anne, if anyone remembers the channel, I used to have this picture on my channel at one point in time. That's a picture of that car there from round the block. 1969, got Neil Armstrong there, and Queen Elizabeth, an Australian coin. Come round. Just a picture of the museum from a model view. This is what it looks like. Nothing too spectacular. Come along. Show you this quickly before we leave. These are the old computers, Commodore 64. An old TV there, if you can see that. Another old computer, the Dragon 64 that was, and then you had the Spectrum there. Sinclair, sorry, the Sinclair there. And some Gone Off Milk, the Stig, and some t-shirts. They've got an old exhaust there. Some old toys that you probably would remember if you're back from the 80s. You probably remember all of these back then. And some old cars again. These are probably worth some money now. These little toy cars are probably worth more than real cars, to be quite honest. Old Subbuteo, if you remember that. It's an old washer dryer there, if you remember that. And right here is a kid's car. Now this is how big these things were. These are kids' cars. You could cycle them. They didn't have an engine, but you could cycle them. The kids used to play with these back in the 50s and stuff, if you was rich enough to have one of these, believe me. And there we have a collection of vintage stuff there, old radios and torches and cameras and stuff, and old teddies and some bullets and another clock and stuff. So yeah, that's it. Apart from that, it's not much else here in this room, and that's pretty much about it in the museum. I'm gonna come back and do some more, so my battery is not exactly holding. So I'm gonna come back, we'll do some more pretty soon, and yeah, I'll get the rest of this museum put into place. So yeah, there we have it, everyone. It's like a prosthetic arm thing I think they made back then in the early 80s. So yeah, there we have it, everyone. This is the museum in Swansea. So if that was something that interested you, then please make sure you stick around for more videos, because we'll be going to a lot more places to see a lot more things and a lot more vintage places and buildings to go to. So thank you everyone for watching. Please make sure you drop a sub, and we'll be back very soon. So happy days everyone. Thank you for sticking by us today, and we'll be back very shortly with a lot more videos. Thanks everyone, have a good day and take care.